All right, guys, so let's get this put on in the truck. So in that plastic bag with all your hardware and stuff, they actually don't send you on instructions. They'll send you this thing that you got to go to the website. Then you put this part number in, and that's what we got here. So you scroll down, and you put that part number in here, hit search, dyno sheet will come up, and then instructions, you hit download, and then there it is. I'm guessing you can print it out, or you can just look at it on your phone as you install it. So let's get into it. So I already took the cover off. What you'll have is you'll have this cover on here, and you'll just have to pull it off. And there's those 4 rubber grommets that go on those posts. You just gotta pop it off. They'll come off. So then, yeah, you gotta unplug your temperature sensor and unscrew these. And then there's another 8mm bolt. And then just work it off. It'll pop right off. So when you take this temperature sensor out, it'll be threaded, and there's this little tab. So when you put it into the next one, it'll have to be oriented a certain way so it'll read right, so you don't get a check engine light, and I'll show you that. But this little tab is the way it should, like when you turn it in there, it'll be facing so the air will read across it. So then you just got to pay attention on that when you put it in the hard tube. So we'll get this taken out. You gotta take this hose off. And then there's 2 more rubber grommets. Just gotta wiggle back and forth. Oh, also these little green tabs is what holds these the seal in. And what you'll have to do is you have to kind of pinch it and pull it so it stretches, and then you work it back and forth. You get it all off. There is one on this that you have to transfer over to the heat shield on the airbox of the engine set. And then you have to take all these little, I don't know if you can see, all these body clips out, and then this will fold up because there's a 10mm bolt under here that will hold down the new airbox. So let's get the old one out. Make sure you guys can see. You just work this back and forth, and it'll come out. And then you will have to take one of the old ones and put it on the new airbox. So you just grab it and it'll just pop out. And then you just, so I kind of pre-built this a little bit, so I'll show you guys. So under this is your venturi, which is those 4 Allen wrench bolts. So you just threaded those in and it'll tighten down the venturi. And then you just use the hose clamp and put your filter on, and then that other grommet or hose clamp will hold down the reducer from the tube to the venturi. So here is that little spot. You just put this plug in, so you just put it in there and it'll be good. And then here's where you put the green clip for the air intake to get to the filter. You can put your seal on it. So what we'll do, we'll get this out of the way. Just got this taken apart, and then you have the this little indent is where the head of that 10mm will go. So when you feed that box in, it'll come in here, and you tighten it down, and then you have to put this all back down. And there is a little bit of plastic you have to trim off. There's a little ear that you have to cut with a knife. So, but let's get into it and get this thing on there. So we get this wiring harness out of the way. You want to get the throttle body boot on. Here we go. So you want to get that on and get it tightened down. You don't want to go too tight, but you just want to make sure that the grommet is, or not the grommet, the boot is, you want to make sure your hose clamps all the way on the boot too. Get that, make sure it's all seated all the way in. tighten it down until it just till you can't get it off anymore. You can't pull it off of the throttle body. Should be good. So you want to take this, and this post down here is where this will go, and then this little ear right here with the 10 mil and those washers is where you'll tighten down here. But yeah, I just want to feed this in here like that. Then you just lift this plastic up and feed it out of the way. I'm trying to keep this seal out of the way so we don't rip it. Grommet should, when you push it down, it should pop on there so you know it's in the right spot. And get that 10 mil and tighten that back down. You want to make sure it's, I'm not going to tighten this all the way down just till we get that other 10 mil tightened down. That's what you'll have is a bolt and a nut and then 2 washers. So what you want is pull this out of the way, put this up in here like this. And once you get it started, put your hand out of the way. Make sure it's all pulled up tight. Then what you do, so use this, get underneath, and then I'll use the driver on top, tighten that down. To make sure get it all tight. Should be good. And then we'll go back in and tighten that other 10 mil down. Once we do that, put all your body clips back in. Make sure everything's secure. Then what we'll do is we'll get the seal back on it, or for the hood. Be all good. And we want to make sure the reducer is tightened down. And what I was saying earlier, about that other grommet that comes in that pack, there's a big side and a little side. You want to put the little side in first. And I don't know if you can see it in there, but if you look down in there, maybe. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but you got to make sure that the air is going to flow through it. So you want to, so this will go on like this. So you want to make sure the clip, where you clip it on, is facing that way. So then it's orientated the right way for all the air to go through. Or I'm sorry, this way. We got the other hose clamps. This one sit on here, and sit on here. And what you want to do is just work it in there. Get this one worked in here. And then you got this hose. Just push it on to the little thing sticking out the back. Make sure everything's good. You get that clipped on and pushed in. Then we'll tighten down the lined up. Make sure you get it tightened down good so it's a good seal. And then do the same on the throttle body side. All nice and tight and secure. Then you can put the rear cover back on. Kind of be a pain. There we go. You just want to make sure that this isn't pinched. And this is good to go and plugged in. There you have it. Should be all good. Guess we can start up.